Welcome to Leading with Impact, the ICD BDI Podcast Series, an initiative by the Institute of Corporate Directors Board Diversity and Inclusion Committee. I'm Monette Iturralde-Hamlin, Chairwoman of the BDI Committee, and I'll be your host as we champion and advance the vital conversation on diversity, equity, and inclusion in corporate leadership. Each episode will spotlight the experiences and insights of diverse leaders who are driving change, shaping industries, and inspiring inclusive governance. We'll explore how different dimensions of board diversity, from gender and age to background and sector, contribute to better decision-making and sustainable corporate growth. In our very first episode, we dive into the critical topics of ESG and sustainability. I am thrilled to introduce our two phenomenal guests, Ana Lagon, Co-CEO and Chief Creative Officer of Bayo Manila Inc., and Koleen Davila-Palaganas, Vice President and Head for Sustainability at SM Investments Corporation. Ana, your work with Bayo, particularly the Journey to Zero initiative and the inspiring Weave for Peace project with the Armed Forces of the Philippines, truly showcases how business can be a powerful platform for social good and environmental stewardship. Koleen, with your extensive experience in corporate sustainability, leading the SM Group Sustainability Office, and your own impactful work with COCO, Slow Living, and Sustainability PH, you've been a true pioneer in raising sustainability leaders and driving meaningful change across various sectors. Discover how these women leaders in the Philippines are seamlessly integrating environmental, social, and governance principles into their business strategies and how their vision is shaping responsible corporate leadership for a brighter future. Now, get ready to be inspired. So welcome, Ana and Koleen. It's a real pleasure to have you both here today. Now, to kick things off with a foundational question. In your minds, how do you distinguish between ESG and sustainability? And if so, how?
Well, first of all, thank you so much, Monette, for having me. This is really a privilege to be in this discussion with Koleen here, who is an expert on sustainability. And this meaningful conversation is really coming from each of our hearts as we work in the same space. So yeah, going back to your question on ESG and sustainability, we have ESG as our measurable tool so that we could use it to achieve sustainability. Sustainability then becomes the vision so that we're able to achieve the goals. And coming from the meaning of the ESG, it encompasses the things that we need to do towards sustainability. And how we achieve that is through mindful practices. We make sure to live and really practice sustainability. And it has been a buzzword among businesses and also ordinary people now. Our consumers are now asking us about sustainability. But to make it simpler, it's really how we live our lives so that we don't overuse what we have. We become more mindful with the things that we consume and to guide us so that we live within the principles of sustainability. We use the ESG, looking into the environment, the social practices, and governance. Especially, this is used as a tool to report as a corporate entity. So yeah, there.
Thanks, Ana. Koleen?
Congratulations, Monette, and ICD for this podcast. And of course, it's a privilege and to be with Ana. So sustainability, like what Ana said, it's really the vision. It's where we want to go. And sustainability, like the universe, it expands, no? It keeps expanding. So the idea of life is it keeps expanding. We also hear regenerative. sustainability is regenerative because life begets life, no? So that's the concept. It keeps going on. And the way to keep going on is to be mindful of how we use the resources, to also respect one another, protect the rights of each other, be inclusive of everyone in the planet, of course, and also create a shared prosperity that is fair for everybody. So ESG is attempting to put these methodologies and measurable goals. So it's easy as a step-by-step for corporates or businesses to attain the very big concept of sustainability.
Thank you for clarifying that. It's really important to understand the nuances between ESG and sustainability. Now, let's talk about small and medium-sized businesses, or SMEs as we call them. You know, as far as I know, SMEs are really supportive of sustainability, but they really have this idea of it's too expensive, or maybe it's not, doesn't affect them. So, may I know from your point of view, what advice can you give SMEs when it comes to sustainability? Anna?
For me to simplify things, I would look at sustainability as basic. Going back to how we are as Filipinos, sustainability has been lived and practiced way before our generation. And to look back into the culture of the Filipinos is like looking back into how it was lived back then and learning from that, applying it today. So how do you do that? You look at what you have. You manage the resources within your means. And for the SMEs, if you have a business, whether small or big, you always look at what you have first and do not keep on adding into it unless you really need it to expand, but mindfully looking at those resources to make sure that you don't waste anything, but optimize using what you have. So, for example, in our business, when we wanted to formalize our ways forward, we realized that we have been actually practicing sustainability for a long time, but now it's been defined. So that's the difference. Defining sustainability as a way to improve the business. So we optimize on our efficiency. We optimize on the resources that we have. So for example, we use power in everything, right? We can't function without it.
Yes.
So identifying that, we learn that we can actually convert into renewable energy. So in our production, we have our solar panels, and we changed our LED, our
Lights.
conventional lights to LED across all our stores and our production area in every space that we have. So it's not that difficult because it's already there. You just have to look at what are these resources that you have that really put out a lot. So minimizing those. And there are a lot of things for sure. You'll discover that you don't need the things that you actually overuse, but just manage it, efficiently, and you save on those. I have this one example that I remembered. I used to say plastic is also a number one culprit against sustainability. So we use a lot of single-use plastics when we pack our clothes, sending them to the stores. So now we had to remove at least a component, which is the bigger plastic that puts everything so that it's easy to carry. So we removed that and we changed it to containers that are reusable. So we saved on the bigger plastics because it cost us at least ₱1 million a year.
Wow.
Because it's disposable.
Yeah.
So just by changing one and mindfully looking at, we're using it for a long time, but plastic is a culprit. So how do we let go of that? So converting into a reusable one makes a lot of difference. And a lot more, you will discover it if you mindfully look into your process.
That is fantastic advice for SMEs. But Koleen, now I'm interested to know from your angle, what advice do you give to SMEs, especially you have your own business as well? And at SM, what do you do?
Yeah, so SM is the biggest home of SMEs, no?
Naku,
We have
totoo.
like hundreds and thousands of SMEs in SM, and we ourselves started as an SME. And it is a fallacy that sustainability is very expensive, no? And or complicated. And I want to build on what Anna's saying. Actually, natural to the Filipinos are the principles of sustainability. One, noong unang panahon pa, we live in unity with nature.
Correct.
Even our badyaws, no, they can swim. We live with nature, with all our islands. And even way before, we knew we get our medicines from nature. We weave our clothes. We have the Iloilo weavers, all from nature. And then, ang pakikipagkapwa-tao ng Pilipino is on a different level. We have bayanihan, our loyalty to our community, we help one another. Now, these two concepts of people and planet bring about shared prosperity. So this kaya to on a typical Filipino. Now, kung SME, you look at a system, no? Kasi nature, sustainable nature, kasi it's a system. So, the plants, their waste is oxygen, and we need it to survive. And our waste is carbon dioxide, and they need it. So it's very circular. The relationship is so close, so intact, and walang waste. So when we look at our business, small and medium, let's look at first our people. When we hire people, do we train them properly so they don't have wastage of their talents? When we design the clothes in Bayo, the tela, and all that, do we study it in such a way na wala masyadong wastage because we can use many parts of the raw materials. And then the electricity, the water, and all that. Sustainability is also frugality kasi nga no wastage. So the investment of Anna in the LEDs, in the long run, that will really save you a lot of money.
Correct.
And of course, in all that, governance matter. Kasi all these pilferages and all this, the values formation that happens in a small and medium enterprise is the one that will bring about sustainability. And also, kahit small tayo, you'll be surprised where the best ideas come from, It comes from the least expected people. And if we are inclusive, we listen to them. And that's sustainable leadership also. So in SM, we support women, particularly women entrepreneurs. And we have, I think, Anna had spoken there. We do like MSME learnings, and we partnered with GRI, which will be launched.
Oh, good.
So GRI is launching a small series with the DTI on training for SMEs, and SM sponsored the videos. Because we really want SMEs to realize it is simple. It doesn't have to become, it's not rocket science, and natural na sa Pilipino. So I really love that angle that Anna said.
Changing the topic a bit, I'm really curious. What got the two of you interested in ESG and sustainability? Anna, I think I remember we were talking one time and you were saying that your daughter asked you something about where the waste goes. Maybe you can share what really happened there.
Well, yeah, that conversation has been told many times over, but yes, it's the only one that really sparked that interest in me and I guess the rest of the family because of that question from an innocent child, right? Asking me, where does all this retazos go? And to her curiosity, I responded, well, to the garbage, right? And unknowingly, that was really a very irresponsible answer. But it made us rethink how to improve the business moving forward. And that started Zero Waste. So that really inspired the journey to zero, which is first to address zero waste in our production and then zero carbon emissions. So in time, we were really researching a lot and we're now encountering terms that are more scientific so that, science is really behind all of these initiatives that we have. That's why we're partnering with the OST in a lot of our initiative. And then, of course, the circular economy model, which makes us ensure that every step that we do connects with our whys, and the circular economy ensures that when we partner with anybody, may it be a community member, an agency, or a business entity, we make sure that prosperity is shared. I love the thing that Colleen mentioned about shared prosperity, because that's really a big part of sustainability. That's why it's a kind culture, because it doesn't just get anything, it continues to give. So it's very essential that those who are into this space understand the values behind sustainability, because it really is very inspiring to do if you're part of it. And to me, that personal awakening is really something else, because it's different when your child talks to you, being a mother and all that. You won't forget it, and like you have a bigger mission, and that led us to where we are today.
I really love that. It's really from the mouth of babes, no? The innocent question, and it has triggered all of this, and now you're doing great in terms of what you're doing for the economy, the circular economy, as you say. Koleen naman, from your end, you have such deep expertise already in sustainability, especially in the corporate field. In your case, what got you interested in this?
Yes, it's been a long time, actually. So, roundabout I was 16, 17. I would pray a lot for our country. I believe we were truly the pearl of the Orient, very rich in natural resources. We have the Coral Triangle facing Batangas, the richness of biodiversity, the Filipino people, so beautiful. And I would ask the Lord, how come we don't have shared prosperity and we have all the resources?
Maraming mahirap.
Then I would pray, and then the Lord led me that there was a way to develop that is more harmonious with all of this, the values, and it's called sustainable development, and that will reach the sustainable future we want. So I didn't understand it. I worked in the NGO because the time corporates naman were not yet. And then I met the people from Agencia Española. And I thought I was going crazy because I was imagining a city that people could breathe, the plants are there, people could plant fruits and vegetables. And they told me, you're not going crazy. It's called sustainable development. And the Europeans are giving scholarships if you want to learn. So I got a scholarship in Spain to take my master's in sustainable development. And from there, sustainability and sustainable development. But from there, I ended up first in the nonprofit, because a lot of things that people forget is that socio-economic is a very big part of sustainability. Now, kasi heavier on the planet, no, because of all the Paris agreements. But when I was studying it, the topic before was fair trade and child labor, no, and they were fighting against this, and so it was socio-economic, and also the rights of people to basic services, education, healthcare, and then the environment became a big topic. So I guess that's how, and I see my role. I'm so blessed. TSC, invited me to be in SM. It's my only profit org, because to me sustainability was a calling, I guess, parang like a life's purpose.
Oh, those are truly beautiful personal experiences. Thank you for sharing them. Now, let's talk about diversity in gender. You're both women. I'd like to hear from your points of view, what kind of strengths or contributions do women bring into the discussion, into the conversation of ESG and sustainability? Who wants to start?
Well, yeah, for me, women really, we humanize the metaphor, we humanize ESG. Those are criteria, but in women, we can relate to it, like a nurturing spirit to it, add it to the projects, to the programs. When we think of how to do things, we make sure that everyone in the conversation becomes relevant. No, we're always welcoming, nurturing, and it's not just about this or the checklist. These are the things that we need to do, but how to do it and how to involve everybody, and that's where gender and social inclusion comes in, which is very important in the practice of sustainability. I think it's also by nature being mothers.
Those are truly inspiring personal journeys. But from your perspective, what unique strengths or contributions do women bring to the table when it comes to driving ESG and sustainability within their organizations?
Well, for me, women can humanize the process. It's not just a box that you tick in order to achieve it. There's more emotional involvement. And so that brings the women's perspective with the element of being natural nurturers. It's the nurturing spirit of women that drives sustainability into a place where it's really understandable, it's welcoming, and it's easier to do. Inspiring everybody to take it on moving forward. And I think being in that space to encourage also gender inclusivity is something that is natural to women. You don't have to be a mother to have that kind of instinct. I think it's a blessing. It's a gift that we have. And we can leverage on that being women and being that inspiring person to lead the change.
Thank you, Anna. What about you, Koleen? What do you think?
Women are very gifted.
Totoo yan.
Women have a long-term view of life.
Yeah.
Maybe because of the maternal instinct. I'm a mother. The minute my son was born, already 25 years at least, you're committed to your child.
Correct.
Immediately. You cannot divorce yourself from your child. So that long-term, everything, all the little steps, go to a long-term goal and gives the women the ability to connect the dots and make very, critical or strategic decisions. Because sometimes a correct decision for the short term, you can actually have a better decision short term that will also benefit long term. So I think the long term thinking and ability to connect the dots, I think women are really, really brilliant in that. We multitask. That's why we can connect the dots. No? I think the second one is also related to what Anna's saying, apart from humanizing it, is the nurturing side of the woman originally was seen as a weakness. Mm-hmm. But you see now, especially with Gen Z, Gen Alpha, you could see empathetic leadership seems to be the leadership that is bringing everybody from down up and more building. No, it's a very nurturing, building kind of leadership. And women have that naturally, that nurturing. And I think women are very creative because at home, bata pa lang, we're taught to solve problems. Correct. And take care of our siblings, right? We're taught to do all this. And all these mix of the ability to shift from corporate thinking, business thinking, home, you connect all those dots. I think we can raise leaders.
Oh, talaga?
We really can. So I think that's the of women in sustainability and leadership.
I love how you both have put this on the strengths and contributions of women. Truly, I think women can bring a lot to the table, from being nurturing, connecting the dots, seeing the future, and being very detail-oriented. And we also look at the budget, right? We can't go outside of the budget for the family. Okay, so looking at the broader business naman, how do you see ESG influencing the way businesses are making decisions now, in particular to strategy, operations, or even stakeholder engagement? Koleen, you want to start this time?
Well, SM, we work with so many stakeholders, so many. And, sustainability, originally in corporate, we always think of shareholder. No? That was the traditional way of thinking, because we believe that if we had the capital, we can succeed. But one thing we sometimes for a long time overlook is that, to make a brand successful, the people have to give you permission to succeed. And the big stakeholder is the customers. At SM, we really are very close to our customers, the employees that work with you, because most of the ideas, the solutions come from employees. And of course, the community that allows you to succeed, supports your brand. And of course, you have the regulatory and all that, no? But I think in the community and the way we manage our stakeholders, we listen to what they aspire for. And normally what they aspire for, like in SM, we get to touch the lives of Filipinos in broad spectrum, their dream to have a job.
Correct.
Right? So we are one of the biggest job creators, but their dream to be a business person. And SM also allows, gives opportunity for people to be in formal retailing, no? And many businesses. Also our BDO, our banks, no? They help provide the means, no, to finance all these dreams of the stakeholders. But I want to bring up SM Foundation kasi we relegate it to CSR, but CSR is part of sustainability, ha? Kasi out of the natural shared value we create in SM, there's a group in our society that still need an extra push. And SM Foundation does this, no? We give a lot of scholarships because we entered a demographic dividend. Now we're in a demographic sweet spot, the Philippines. Right now, countries enter it in how many hundreds of years, where the number of working age outnumbers dependency age. Mm-hmm. And normally, if a country enters this, the economy will boom so much. So the Philippines, we're there right now. But that's a double-edged sword. If we do not educate and don't create jobs and opportunity, medyo we cannot optimize this dividend, no? So SM really gives a lot of college scholarships. We also do healthcare, the health centers we renovate, so that all these basic needs, kasi these are the foundation blocks. And then from there, you can build on top of it. For that. So all of these things, we listen to our stakeholders and we make it our priority to address. We just won, by the way, just Friday, in Asia Sustainability Reporting Awards, we won a platinum on the materiality. Now, why does that matter? It means we were able to really understand what is material to our stakeholder, our partners, and we work towards that. So at SM, I think that's the long and short answer is we listen, we learn, we listen, and then we bring what we learn to the boardroom, and then we strategize and see also what the company can do and what the company needs to evolve to.
I love your answer. It really shows talaga the breadth of thinking that SM is doing. I used to work with SM Foundation at the League of Corporate Foundations, and they were very much into the scholarships and education and giving chances. Anna, what about in your end? Because you're a business. So as a business, you really know the whole from start to finish. How do you use ESG?
Well, you can see on ESG, social is right in the middle. So that's how we see things as well, not only as a criteria, because we do our reporting also, but we report on the UNGC, the United Nations Global Compact. There's a yearly report because we're not a corporate entity required yet.
But I think PLC.
Yes, but I think in the next years, we will be part of those companies that will be required to report. But we do it anyway under our membership with the Global Compact Network Philippines. So ESG is parallel to the framework that we use under the principles behind sustainability. And for us, the social part is what makes us do things efficiently and really coming from the heart. That is where, similar to, I think there's really a formula, no? Because Bayo as a group, we have other brands, Bayo, Unica, vice versa. Everything that we do is the same. It's just a brand differentiation, but within the space, there is Bayo Foundation. So the balance of like the heart is really in the foundation, how we do our programs, uplifting communities, teaching, training, to open opportunities for sustainable livelihood. And then we let that in our supply chain. But now we are actually expanding. And sometimes I ask myself, is this still related to the brands that we have? Because just recently we've had an agreement to expand in other parts of the Philippines, but not exactly for our supply chain, but to create spaces so that peace building can kick off, and peace keeping as well, to maintain it among the communities, and using the economic impact to support this initiative by providing sustainable livelihood. So
Is this your Weave for Peace project?
yes, we for
Can
peace.
you tell us more about it?
Okay, so
our
I'll
people will
segue to that.
understand?
So We for Peace is initially an agreement with the AFP, the Armed Forces of the Philippines, so that we can solve their problem with their uniforms, because as we all know, you cannot just donate the military uniforms for security reasons. So when they reached out to us and asked how do they go about that. So instead of Bayo Foundation recycling or upcycling them, we offered a sustainable livelihood program. So we are now present inside the camp in Mindanao, in Cagayan de Oro. So we're providing opportunities to military families using the heritage of hand weaving as a means towards economic empowerment. And this is so for the women in the house, because most of them, but it's also open to men. But
Yeah.
it's just that there are more women in the camp, because usually the men or the soldiers, they are always out on a mission. Yeah, so for us, it becomes, Bayo becomes not just a fashion brand. We feel like, oh, we are now part of nation building, which is, which makes us motivate ourselves to even think beyond fashion. And it has started that actually I'm not sure when, or if you're going to show this continuously, but from now, very soon we will be signing an agreement for women, peace, and security in spaces of former conflict areas. So again, in connection to Weave for Peace, the government is supporting us so that they can use our program for sustainable livelihood. So again, not for Bayo, but for the communities that we are building. We are small, but it's not a reason for you not to do anything. There's so many things happening around us, and I think sustainability becomes the more important, the more significant way to create positive synergy between those who are leading the nation, proposing something for good, but also looking at them as leaders who are also looking for opportunities to create this synergy among the private sectors. We are an NGO operating for that, and it's good to be in that space, to be able to utilize what we can do. And again, women are at the center of the Sustainable Livelihood Program. At the perspective of our population, men and women, it's almost 50-50.
Right.
And if we spark that interest to women who are in the homes, or just looking out for opportunities, but they can't because they have to take care of so many things, their children, their household, a support to the families, and also opportunities limit them. But this livelihood programs can be in their communities, and if we tap them and create those economic opportunities for them, then we add a big percentage to the income generating population of women. And just 10% of that would add up a lot to our GDP, right? So in that way, we're motivated to really be in the places where we can see women-led communities and use them to think beyond what they can do. It's not just being home. Of course, being nurturers, you're at home nurturing your families. It's very important. It's a very noble responsibility to do. But there is also a big opportunity to add to the income for your family in a modest way. So
No, Anna, that is so inspirational, what you just said. Actually, when you give opportunities for women to earn, right? What the studies have shown is that the money that women earn, they don't use it for themselves. They will use it for their family first, their children's education and everything, and then the community. So the effects are far reaching. I laud you, even you said you were small, even Lilliputians can do it and you can do great things. So thank you for sharing that, Anna. So it's very clear from your answers that ESG is becoming increasingly integrated into core business functions. However, we all know that implementing all goals brings with it challenges. So I'd like to know, you have this ambitious journey to zero and your Weave for Peace project. What have been some of the biggest hurdles that you've had to face and how did you handle them?
the very first one that comes to my head is really the awareness part. Sadly, it's still a challenge for us, like to let people understand that sustainability is all part of us. And the advantage of understanding it, living it, and really practicing it is not just for oneself, but really for the entire society. So having that mindset of a whole of society approach is so difficult for people to get at the onset, because they always think that, oh, maybe they're just marketing sustainability, greenwashing, or anything like that. But they should look beyond it and look to themselves first before trying to redefine it, because sustainability is a very inspiring practice. We've been in it for more than 10 years now, quietly at first, because we don't want to talk about what we're doing until it's proven. And now it's proven and being adopted by many others. And we're really glad that somehow we have, paved the way, humbly sharing that, because now I see a lot of people also treading the same path that we're leading. But modesty aside, it's something that should be followed. Filipinos like to be inspired by one another, right? So I think sustainability is something that we should be all inspired from. So
Anna, lead the way and inspire all of us to do it. Koleen naman, from the corporate point of view, I'm sure your challenges have been especially dealing with a vast and diverse organization as the SM Group. What have been those challenges, the biggest ones, and how did your team handle it?
Yes, maybe before the challenges, we have kasi a trump card.
Okay.
Our trump card in SM is that the family, the C family, is the champion of sustainability more than any of us in the office. So from different aspects of sustainability, no? So Mrs. Coson, Ms. Tessie C, is really the advocate for small and medium enterprises when it comes to socio-economic. She's really the champion in sustainability for that. And then when it comes to sustainable tourism, this is Miss Betty C. So because, Hamilo Coast has that apex of the...
Yes.
Yeah, so she really worked on the biodiversity there, protection, marine protected areas. And of course, our buildings, because of Mr. Hansi is an engineer. So he and Mr. Chico C, his son, is also an advocate. So every member of the C family is an advocate of different aspects of sustainability. So from here, because of this, and Mrs. Coson is for women empowerment also, we have 50% of our board as independent board, beyond what SEC requires. And then we have 3 women. Now, 50% of the board are independent, and we have 2 independent women board members. And then we have Mrs. Coson also as an executive director. Now, from there, we have 68% of leadership roles in SM occupied by women. Of course, Ms. Lizan Uichaco,
Yes.
she is the Group Diversity Officer among her many roles in SM. And why do we need all this diversity? Is because we cater to very diverse customers. And the only way to understand them is to have diverse people inside SM to give all the perspectives that we need. So that's our trump card. The challenge that we came across was the vagueness of sustainability when it comes to middle management and all to every member of the SM group. So we set up the SM Sustainability School. So it's very big for 130,000 employees. So we broke it down. It's almost like taking a master's, pero micro courses. So it teaches you about energy, water, everything.
Nice.
Even supply chain, diversity, all the different aspects of sustainability. So I believe in the first run we had about 40,000+ already completed. These are the reporters. And now we opened a basic one for our sales girl, everybody, to understand it. So, like you, di ba, the awareness, kasi una vague, people think it's so complicated. So we try to simplify it in micro courses. And this is where our partnership with GRI came from, because when they saw the school. And at the same time, we placed it in our strategy and KPIs. So, because it's in our job description, it's part of our job objectives, we get to live it. Actually, many naman employees live it. They just didn't realize that it's already part of sustainability.
Okay.
So I think that's the one. Now, as diverse as SM Group, how we tackled our challenges, kasi we are so diverse, it can go many ways. The banking can go all the way to the right, and then the can go all the way. So we have a path for sustainable growth in SM that we look. So this is what we do. When we go to a community, the first thing is SM Foundation comes in. So we created this format. Now, SM Foundation comes in to ensure that the most marginalized group are included right away. Then we have SM Prime coming in. They'll create an integrated lifestyle city. And they try to make it as 15-minute city as possible, embedded sustainability in the structures. Kasi if the environment allows us to live sustainably, it will accelerate our lifestyle to sustainable. Then retail will come in, And retail kasi creates a lot of jobs. Talaga grabe ang retail. And you're a big retailer. So we have also SMEs, And then of course, to scale it, BDO and China Bank will come in. They're one of the biggest, they have a big loan portfolio for SMEs And also BDO has a very big portfolio for renewable energies para it's faster for people to get renewable energy. So the challenge is how do we connect these dots? But you see, because Mrs. Coson, our vice chairman, is a woman, she is master in connecting the dots. Unbelievable. She's really the master. So she could see the details of each and then connect it all in a big SM group strategy called the Path to Sustainable Growth. So that's how we navigate this group.
I love this template of SM on sustainability, and thank you for sharing it. And for our listeners, they'll probably have a look at, maybe we can follow this template as well so that we bring growth for the entire country. So overcoming all of these challenges, that shows real progress. But beyond just compliance or reporting, in your view, I'd like to know, what do you think truly makes an ESG strategy effective? What goes beyond ticking those boxes? Anna?
What goes beyond is when you live it.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to just look at, okay, what are the things I've accomplished? But if you're living it and practicing it, then it becomes normal. So you normalize the practice. It's when you can see the little things, because it's normal for you to be in that sort of check and balance. And once you see something that's outside the tangent, then you'll do something about it. Definitely, because you won't be comfortable. And I'm speaking from experience. Since we started to map how we are doing things, there's always that little bit of something that we can still push further so that we can achieve better. And, choosing, especially in production, choosing the better materials and making things balanced in a way that we're deciding how do you sell this product and it costs much more. So we cannot just pass everything to the consumer, to the clients. So we look at the other resources that we have. For example, we had to give up our billboard. I'm sorry, but that's a major decision that we had to make because the expense for that we transferred to buying better materials. So we don't charge it to the customer. Billboards are very effective, nothing against it, but sometimes you have to make decisions in order to achieve the balance that you need in the business. We need to serve the consumer first. And so eventually, I hope we can bring it back when the business is better. But for now, it's really looking from the inside and out, and at the same time, from the outside and in. So the balance should be there and always prioritizing what is good for our customers.
What about you, Koleen, from your point of view, beyond compliance, what makes an ESG strategy effective?
Yes, I'm very happy with what Anna said, no? That she looks inside out and outside in. This is why sustainability is so not easy to do, but very attainable. That's called dual materiality. See, I mean,
May term
it's
pala
by
siya.
term lang, no? So
Dual
it's called dual
materiality.
materiality. It's when you analyze the risk of outside to your business and the impact of your business going out. So it's dual materiality. That's what she explained. That's how she lives it. That's how she thinks it. And that's how SM does it too. Now, so we have a risk management framework for sustainability, and we analyze where our buildings are, even banks, branches, if which one are at risk in climate. And then we also, because we want to make sure we're resilient. Kasi resiliency, allows us to operate, especially during times of needs, where there's calamity. Kasi our stakeholders, they come to SM, and then, we want to be open, not only for the people coming in for their safety, because the SMEs are dependent on us.
Yes.
You close the mall one day, ang losses ng
Grabe.
SMEs, grabe. Especially during the pandemic, that's why we created a lot of
Online.
joint marketing, yes, to help the SMEs. Now, our impact out is also another thing. We measured, back to the scholars, there is a framework. It's called social return on investments. So you want to see if you're truly effective. Is it effective? Are your sustainability approach? So we ran a pilot with a scholarship, and we found out there that for every 1 peso invested to a child for tertiary education college, 7 pesos ang return niya to
Wow.
the family in just a span of 5 years. Imagine if we make money that way, no? I mean, 7 pesos ang return. And in just 5 years, they get a great job. Iba pumupunta pang Dubai. They build a small sari-sari store for their parents or tricycle and all that. They get to buy a Pag-ibig property right away, so they become homeowners. And they send their kids, their siblings, to school.
Wow.
Imagine one child, and this is what Tatang was saying. I send lang one child, that whole family, will be
Will benefit.
uplifted. So that's why we're really beyond checklist. In fact, it's been part of the culture of Tatang and SM. Kasi Tatang, he has principles we live by in SM, and we learn about it. Our scholars learn about it. And one thing he said is, business growth and social development, they go hand in hand. You can never divorce them. And that's how SM ever since. Then the ESG came, so we were able to, report it and all that. But I think regardless these measurements came or not. Like what I said, the trump card is the values the C family has brought talaga to SM. They led with that, a balance of a vision, a very frugal business governance, very frugal, very good, and very strategic. They listen to the customers, the desire to meet the aspirations of the Filipino. How Filipinos want to evolve is very strong. And at the same time, as an employee, I just want to share, we want great place
Great
work.
place to work. Oo.
Yeah. Kasi naman in SM, why wouldn't we be proud, no? In SM, they really help us. If you want to have a home, they give SMDC zero interest to employees without bank record. Imagine. And then we have savings and loan. Anytime you need anything, there is an so they practice talaga at home first. Then they extended that to communities. Kaya yung mga malls with water catchment, there's already a community. Dati binabaha, no? Imagine you work so hard and in one baha, all is
Wala
white.
na. Oo.
Then Mr. Hansi and Mr. Chico C said, no, you know what? Yung SM dyan will put a big water catchment and a radius of so many communities hindi na binabaha. So, but all of those big things SM is able to do as impact, it started with the principle of tatang. They have to grow and they practice first with us, the employees. So, I'm really very proud. No, sorry, I don't want to rave about it, but
No, don't be sorry because this is beautiful. It's really the leader, no? The leader with a vision and with a heart for other people and ensuring that, everybody benefits. It's for the good of all. And then actually living it and cascading it down. And I can see from the two of you the passion that you have when it comes to sustainability. So, thank you so much for giving that distinction between compliance and actually genuine impact of ESG and sustainability. We're almost out of time, but I'd like to ask just one more question, if you don't mind. And it's really the future. Because this is what we're talking of the now. But with the advent of AI and all of these new technology, how do you see ESG and sustainability moving forward?
I think with the advent of AI, we can fast track everything because you can respond to things more efficiently. Looking at the possibilities, for example, in our community works, AI can work in preserving, for example, the patterns that we're teaching in weaving and protecting that as well. And we can create programs that are, AI can check on our behalf first before implementing it, things like that. And I think technology is really the way to future-proof your business and to make sure that you don't get left behind because the world is evolving towards AI. And I think the Philippines can look at it as, as an emerging space for us. And we have to be ready. We have to learn more about it so that we can optimize the use of it. And sustainability, with all its compliance and reporting, I think AI also could be beneficial to that. For our foundation as well, we're starting to connect it with how we can empower more communities because we cannot be physically present in every space that we establish for the Harvest Creative Hub. And AI, I think, is an efficient way to magnify our impact. And I really have high hopes that with that kind of technology, proper use of it, we'll be able to do more and create more impact.
Thank you, Anna. Colleen?
yes, AI is a big opportunity. Of course, there are a lot of gray areas,
Yes.
no? But like, for example, it rains a lot in the Philippines, no? I mean, we're the number one most vulnerable country to climate change. AI can help us predict the weather, predict many things, and also there is already a tool where AI analyzes your risk. So should we build communities here? Should we not? Should we sell our property and move to a different, you want to study all of this, no? Zoning, and all of that. So at the same time, I believe AI also has a silver lining. Like what I said, we are a very young population. So who is the fastest to learn technology? The young.
Yep.
The millennials, the Gen Z, the Gen Alpha coming in. And maybe for us, the future, the SDGs will change. It'll end on the 2030. And with AI coming in, it will create a whole set of new opportunities, but a whole paradigm of a new inequality. So we have to bring our young people, equip them, so that already they can function 50 years down the road. And with the young people being equipped, they could be the glue to the multi-generational workforce. Kasi many Filipinos are still very strong, no? So yung baby boomers, I'm Gen X, with the young people understanding AI, navigating it, it could even bring other opportunities for multi-generation to work. But I think in all this AI, however technology works, there is something that is constant. It's the human compassion that can never be erased and should never be erased, no matter what kind of technology that is there. Because it's that human compassion, empathy to nature, to each other, that will bring us to the sustainable future we really, really want. And we can just use our creativity and all that to build fair businesses, businesses that empower, nations that, build generations. So I think in the end, yes, AI is there, but we're the more intelligent one always, the human being.
It's always human before tech, but the two together can make wonders with good governance.
Yes.
So we need to work on the values. So Anna and Koleen, thank you so much for sharing your invaluable insights and your experiences today. This has been an incredibly enlightening conversation on ESG and sustainability. To our listeners, thank you so much for joining us for this inaugural episode of the ICD Board Diversity and Inclusion Podcast Series, Leading with Impact. We hope that this discussion has inspired you to further champion diversity, equity, inclusion, and sustainability in your own spheres of influence. I'm Monette Iturralde-Hamlin, and it's been a pleasure hosting you. Join us next time as we continue the many facets of inclusive leadership in Leading with Impact, the ICD BDI Podcast Series. Until then, keep driving change and shaping a more sustainable future. Thank you so much. Ay, naku, salamat po.
ICD BDI